One of the things that is really important to me to show you guys, when I was looking for a cultivator, I scoured YouTube. I looked Hiniker, Buffalo, B&H, John Deere. I tried to find videos for all of those. There weren't very many product videos because cultivators kind of went out, you know, with chemicals. So what I'd like to do is just kind of show you an overview of how I have mine set, some of the different options that are on it. What they call these are cutaway discs, and their purpose is to cut away from the row and cut the dirt away, any small weeds. You can see right here, there's some weeds that'll be cut out there, and you can see I'm not going super deep, but deep enough to do something. And their job is just to cut away from the row and throw dirt into between the row here so that the shank can throw it back out. Those are optional. And then some other optional equipment for this cultivator are these, what they call cutaway hoe shields. So right now I have these set aggressive. They're set angled in, and they're just kind of picking weeds out and kind of breaking up the soil. You can see right here I've got them set pretty tight. They're picking away from the row that I couldn't get. If I go any closer with the cutaway discs, I could cut some of the corn out. So these are kind of helping me just pick out a few more weeds. They're also there to keep dirt from flowing too much into the row and covering up the corn. I'll kind of go through some settings with you guys. I have these set on the 4th hole, and they're still loose, but they're throwing enough dirt that it's throwing dirt into the row and kind of covering up some of those in-row weeds. This one's set a little bit more. I got these used, so there might be some variances on if something got bent. I have my cutaway discs, 2 holes, maybe just a little more from the top here, and there's 2 adjustment holes, one here and one here. I have mine in the bottom. That way there's a lot more settings between the 2 holes. You don't have to go 1 hole, you can just go kind of a half a hole with those. Also 1 hole from the outside pin. Like I said, same with these. You can go, you know, half a hole between the 2. I've got the bar pitched back a little bit. It seems to do a better job pitching it back instead of having it level or even pitched forward a little bit. So that's where I'm running it. I don't know the manufacturers, their settings, what they recommend, but this is what I'm running at. It seems to do the best job for me. I bought this Ganussi PowerLink hydraulic cylinder used. I don't know if it comes with these numbers or not on a used one. I have mine set at this 6.5, and that's kind of putting the pitch back on the cultivator, kind of where I want it. I'm running the depth at the 5th hole for the gauge wheels. It's very simple to adjust the depth. You just take the pin out, and then you can move this. It's very easy. Sometimes these pins get hard to put back in by hand. I carry a hammer with me. Most everything on this cultivator is pin adjust. I really like that. There's no bolts other than if you have to move the shields. There are 2 nuts that you loosen, and then you can slide this over. Same adjustment for the cutting disc down here. It's the same as the gauge wheels. It's actually the same pin. So you take this pin out just like you would for the gauge wheels, and then you can adjust both sides. So this is the controller that's controlling the AccuraTrack hitch behind us. It was a little intimidating when I first got it and when I first ran it, but it's really simple. It's definitely worth looking into if you don't already have a guidance hitch. Last but not least, I want to talk about the AccuraTrack guidance hitch. This thing is a lifesaver. For me, I would not cultivate without it. They make a camera system for it. When I priced it a year ago, it was about $9,000. So don't hold me to that number, but that was the price when I priced it back then. So mine has the whiskers or feelers underneath it here. When I go to my 12 row, I'd like to mount this sensor out on the side. It'll be much easier to get to. This one can be kind of cumbersome if you have to crawl under here and adjust it. These feelers do adjust some with this linkage here on either side. It has 2 hydraulic cylinders that will actually steer this cultivator. I will put their product video in the description if you want to check that out. If there are any more questions you have on this cultivator, feel free to ask. Just let me know if you have any questions and I'll try to answer them.